Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Brian W. Adams.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. We've had a lot of fun guests over the years, but I am going to tell you just from the beginning, I hate to set crazy expectations, but I think this is about to be one of our most fun. And I am excited to announce that Steve Ruth and the Consolidated Marketing Group have now joined the Integrity family. Now, Consolidated Marketing Group is headquartered in Knoxville, Tennessee, and them and their team of agents serve a lot of people in the Southeast, especially if you think about Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Florida, and all over the Southeast. And they are focused primarily on Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement sales and really serving the clients with their senior needs. And over the years, they have built just an incredible reputation. And we've partnered with a lot of fun people, but this is one of the most exciting ones that we've done in a long time. I'm super excited to welcome Steve to the Integrity family, man. Thank you for joining.
I'm glad to be on board.
So Steve, we started out the Inspire podcast really with this idea that it was during COVID, during the time where everybody was, scared. I mean, this was, if you remember back in those days when we were, we would get, our groceries and leave them out in the garage for a while and then wash them down before we'd bring in the bags. And you were scared you were going to get it by touching, and everybody had to go home and work from home. And so it was a scary time, and people felt isolated. And so we had this idea that if we came together, we could kind of encourage people and inspire people and also get to know people's stories. As you partner with people, it's important to hear their stories and to get to know them at a deeper level. And man, we've had a lot of fun talking this morning about some of your stories. And I know you've got a lot. But one of the things I did to try to break the ice when we first started Inspire was to ask the guest if they wanted to sing. I haven't done this in a while because we've been doing so many live videos, but I asked people to sing just kind of break the ice. And, I get a lot of ranges of responses there. Usually Kendall would come in and save the day, but you're a musician and you got a lot of unique stories. So I'm going to put you on the spot and see if you got anything you want to bless us with this morning.
Not today. I really
don't. Come on now. I know you do.
I've narrowed down from playing music on the road to weddings and funerals. So let's just figure this is a wedding, not a funeral.
This is a wedding. So if you were to sing, what would you sing?
Probably Amazing Grace, because that's what it is, but I'd rather not.
Well, Amazing Grace is one of my favorite. Listen, if anything ever happens to me and any of you guys are around, I want that sung at my funeral because that's one of the most amazing songs.
Go Rest High on the Mountain.
Go Rest High on the Mountain is a good one too, man. There's a lot of those old hymns really speak to me, and for sure, there's just so many. They're so amazing. Now, you are a musician. You got training as a musician, and that was really your life's calling, right?
It really was. I was about 5 years old, and I could sit down and piano, and you put a record on, I could play it. And
just by ear.
Yeah, just picked it up. And my dad played, and my grandparents played. My grandmother, she played in church, and it just kind of mushroomed down to me. So when I was 5, my dad started giving me piano lessons, or had piano lessons for me. I took till I was 15, and when I was 15, I could play anything I wanted to by ear or by music. I could sit down and just play. I could play other instruments, just being able to pick them up and play them, but I never did get really, really good like I did on a keyboard, piano and organ. So I played for several years, and when I was in high school, I was making a lot of money playing in nightclubs. When I was I was raised on a farm, and when I seen that money in nightclubs, I just kind of got astray a little bit.
So better, a little better than farming.
Yeah, a lot better.
Dad, I think I'm gonna stay at the bar and play some music.
I didn't want to milk any more Jersey cows. So that's my history on music.
So I took piano lessons. In fact, my mom, we were talking about that the other day. I took piano lessons for 6 years, and it got to a point that finally the piano teacher told my mom, she said, I need to talk to you guys about this. She said, he is absolutely tone deaf and he'll never play the piano. So you can keep paying for me to, have him come over here, but It's not going to work. And sure enough, today I can I can barely play chopsticks. And
Oh,
we were just talking about that. My youngest son, we were at a house the other day, and he started playing around on the piano, and his little friend taught him a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
And he started playing the theme music for Jurassic World.
Wow.
And I was like, man, maybe we need to get him piano lessons.
Yeah.
And that's what my mom said. You remember when you took piano lessons, that didn't work out very well. So we'll see about Shiloh. But you ended up having an accident that changed your life there, right?
I had a music scholarship, a voice music scholarship, and I really was wanting to, be honest with you, I really wanted to teach a high school choir and do good church music. It's really what I wanted to do. But I was playing these nightclubs, and things just kind of got out of hand. And I was supposed to play at Middlesboro, Kentucky one night. We had at that time we had a 7-piece band, and we were really, really good, fixing to sign a contract with a major company, and we're doing real well. And my best friend was a saxophone player. He accidentally kind of pushed me, and I went through a plate glass window. And I cut everything in my right hand, cut the nerves, lost it.
You had a bad car wreck?
No, it was pushed through a glass door.
Oh, you were pushed through a glass door?
He didn't mean to. We were loading up our equipment. And he moved me, tried to move me out of the way, and I went right through a plate glass window. And it cut my arm real bad.
You just went
right
straight through
it like that because it cut me right through here.
Oh, my gosh.
And actually...
almost cut your hand off.
Yeah, I was in surgery about 9.5 hours, and I almost bled to death before they got me in the hospital. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was pretty traumatic to me. I really
cut the tendons, cut
nerves, tendons, because I don't have any feeling from my index finger over right here.
Oh my!
But I can move it, and I'm fortunate that I can use my hand. But, so it's hard for me to play octaves. But I could still play if I wanted to, but not like I used to. So I really don't pursue the music career anymore. So I just it took me a long time, about a year and a half, to really kind of get over that and go forward, because it was devastating to me. That's really what I wanted to do.
Oh my gosh. How old were you again?
I was about 18 when that happened.
Oh my gosh.
I was just getting started.
You were just getting started. That had, as an 18-year-old, oh man, that had to be tough.
I learned to deal with it, and I just went forward. So, but it was devastating.
Man, how did you end up in the insurance career?
Well, after that, I went on to school. I was majoring in music education. I was a voice major. I went to school, and I was going to teach, and then I decided that's not what I want to do, because some of these children in these high schools, they're just hard to deal with. So I went to work for a large food grocery chain, and I worked for them for about 27 years, I guess. I worked my way up, had a great job with them. They're a national company, had a good job, good benefits, and I thought that was it. And I kept saying, there's more to life than this, and I can make more money, and I could, better my family. So I had several friends who was in the insurance business, and so I decided to retire from there, and I got my license probably a month or so before that. I went down to Newport Richey, Florida for a couple of weeks of training, and I come back first day in the field. Before 10 o'clock, I'd made about $1,500 before 10 o'clock, and I said, you know what, I think this might work.
This might work out.
Yeah, so I never looked back.
Never looked back.
Never looked back.
My goodness, man. Well, that's an incredible story. It's amazing how things just change in your life. You never know what's going to happen and what that's going to call. It reminds me, there's a book about a Navy SEAL, and I'm forgetting his last name, but it's a book called Fearless. And it's a Navy SEAL that was born in Arkansas. I don't know if you ever read it. I'm going to send you the book.
Okay.
And I love stories about people who overcome and things like that. But this guy overcame so much, man. It was an incredible book. I'd recommend it highly to anybody. But one of the things it talks about, he finally, he was a Navy SEAL, and he was in Afghanistan, and he was in a Humvee, and he was right-handed. He was holding on to the handhold thing, and they ended up hitting an IED, flipping the Hummer, and essentially crushed his right hand. And he, went through all of that. He overcame all of that, and then learned how to shoot with his left hand, and then went and became a Navy SEAL sniper, left-handed.
Wow.
I mean, that's hard to do. Persistency to push through. I mean, the story is incredible, because he ends up losing an eye, and then has to learn. He loses his dominant eye and had to learn how to shoot without his dominant eye. And it's an incredible story about how people overcome, and you just have to adapt, right? I mean, so
you have to adapt, and it's a mindset. You got to set. And my story is nothing like these guys here. Our military guys that's wounded and all. I have a lot of admiration for them, because we support our military. Our agency does 100%. There, and that touches my heart when you see somebody like that has to go through that. It just breaks my heart, really. Yeah. But at the same time, whether it be something as minor as this here compared to that, it's all in your mind. You know, I will not be defeated.
Yeah.
I will not be defeated. And that's where they come from.
Yeah. And that had to be as a young kid for you going through that. And then going to work in the food service industry, you had to be thinking all the time, what if, right?
Yeah.
What could that have been? And then getting into the insurance business, I'm sure you kind of always reflect on that first love, because nobody woke up as a 5-year-old and said, man, I'm going to be an insurance agent.
No, that's true. That's true.
But it's amazing how you've progressed. And I know I'm inspired by people who, look, I don't think anybody's self-made. I don't think anybody who just automatically, gets something and they're an automatic success, most of the time they don't last very long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Taylor Swift is probably a good example of that not being the case. She started out young, and my God, she's like the most successful human on the planet right now.
Unbelievable.
So very, very few of those type of examples. And by the way, she works her tail off, and you got to commend that. Mm-hmm. But Luke Bryan, have you ever watched his documentary? I think it's on Netflix.
Yes.
Man, talk about somebody who has overcome
history of his family,
family history. And you kind of see him on stage. I'm a big Luke Bryan fan, and if anybody wants to watch an amazing documentary series, I think it's like 4 parts. Look up the Luke Bryan documentary. I can't remember the name of it, but I mean, you see this fun-loving, fun guy on stage, but then you see all that he went through and all the things that
I admire him for what he's done for his family. And I've done a lot of reading about him and watched some of the videos, and he's done a lot for his family. He's a quality person that I can admire.
I love that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now I understand you like the outdoors, and you had a story about being outdoors with a bear one time. Tell us about that.
I used to do a lot of trout fishing up in the Smokies.
So you're in Knoxville, Tennessee, so that's around the Smoky Mountains.
I'm not in the office in Knoxville, but I'm in the foothills. I'm down below Maryville.
It's a beautiful area. Oh my gosh.
In the foothills of the Smokies there, and I've hiked all over the Smokies in the years past. But we were up there trout fishing. I had a very good friend of mine. His name was Steve also, and we went to school together, and we trout fished a lot. And we were going over a knoll right along the small little river. And when I got to the top, I had fishing rods in both hands. When I got to the top, there stood a big old black bear. He was looking at me. He was 10 foot from me, and he was looking right at me. And I said, whoa. So I turned around, I whispered to Steve. I said, Steve, just scream as loud as you can and slap the ground with them fishing rods, and he'll run. He said, okay. So I screamed as hard as I could, and I slapped the ground, and that bear dropped he was standing up. He dropped to his feet and took off running the other way. And I took off after chasing him because I didn't want him to stop. And I hollered at him and screamed.
You went after the
bear?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I started chasing him, and I chased him about probably 25 or 30 yards. He just kept running. He went in the woods, so I just stopped. And I turned around, and Steve was gone.
He was out of there.
He was gone with the truck.
He's maybe the smart one.
I was chasing the bear.
So they say you don't have to be the fastest. You just have to outrun the person next to you. So Steve outran you.
He sure
did. Oh my gosh. I've heard before that with bears, if it's a brown bear, lay down. If it's a black bear, attack.
Yeah.
How does that go? If it's a grizzly bear,
you die.
You die. Yeah, you're dead. So
Most of the time.
Did you know when you saw it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I would know. If I saw a bear, I'd be like, holy crap, that's a bear. I don't know if I would decide. I don't know if I could. I know I don't. I can tell you right now, I couldn't tell if it was a black bear, grizzly bear.
All we have in East Tennessee, North Carolina, there's black bears. And
really?
There's about 3,000 in the Smoky Mountains.
Wow.
3,400, something like that. And there's a lot of them there. Right there where I live, we occasionally see them coming through the yard down through there. So, just let them go.
Kidding.
Don't bother them. Just leave them alone.
They go through your front yard?
Oh, yeah. They won't bother you. The only time that you really have an issue if they're, in a dumpster, if you get away from them, if they're eating, or if they've got the cubs. If they've got cubs, they can be dangerous. Yeah, most of the time they won't bother you. And a lot of people think they're pets. They're not pets. They can't hurt you.
Yeah.
So you don't want to, physically encounter them, but at the same time, they'll run from you.
What were you thinking when you ran after that bear?
Well, I just knew that he'd run because I've had a lot of encounters hiking rocking across the trails from us, and I don't think anything about it. I mean, it's just part of the way we grew up.
Yeah, that is incredible. I cannot believe. I don't know if I could do that. That would be. I think I'd be with Steve running back.
You don't
to
want
the
to run
truck.
from them.
Yeah, that is incredible. Well, I'm so excited you're joining Integrity now. We've been investing so much in not only the products and the services, resources, technology, and support to help agencies like yours to help take it to the next level.
Right.
What are you most excited about by joining Integrity today?
I think we've got an opportunity to go forward, and the sky's the limit. The opportunities are just, it's abundant because of the technology, the CRM systems that's available, the way we'll be able to promote the agency, get us out there in front of people. But the technology is what a lot of the young people are looking for.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as they can get the hands-on support that we give them, and which that's what we try to do,
Yeah.
I think the sky's the limit, like I said.
Yeah, look, this is a people business, and when you have the support like you all have, and then you can complement it with the technology and resources
Yes.
that we're providing, the sky's the limit. We call that the integrity effect.
Right.
We've seen this in a lot of businesses where we come alongside of them, and when we do that, you're complementing all the amazing things you guys are already doing, and then you just take it to the next level. And so we can't wait to see you and your business go to the next level. We're super excited and honored to be your partner, and can't wait to see where we go from here.
Well, I feel the same way. We've already got into recruiting mode since we've made this transition, so it's really starting to take off already.
Let's go, man.
I see it coming.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey,
Thank
buddy,
you.
we're honored to welcome Steve and his entire team to the Integrity family. Thank you guys for joining today. We've got so many exciting things that we're working on here at Integrity, and this is just the beginning. I truly believe we're just getting started. God bless y'all. Have a great week. Take care.